Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be showing y'all how we set up for our virtual baby shower. If you've been following us for a little while, we did a gender reveal that was virtual a couple of weeks back, and we had a lot of questions about how we made it happen. So we figured we would make a special video specifically for how we're doing our baby shower virtually. We're in a very unique time right now where not many people have had to do what we're having to do. So we figure for all the pregnancies and baby showers and gender reveals that are going to happen much after when this video airs, this will kind of be like a good starting place for you to know everything that you need to know and everything that we had to like iron out for you to get you to where you gotta be. We're gonna show you everything that we have bought for the baby shower, and also I think it's important to note that we have done everything under $150. This is extremely affordable, and I can promise you it's gonna be nice. If it's got my name attached to it, it's gonna be nice. Y'all sit back, relax. I'm gonna show you how to turn house, wall, floor, whatever you wanna do into a virtual baby shower. Paradise. Let's get into it. Paradise.
Alright, so the first thing you need to decide before you move ahead with any of the fun stuff is what platform you're going to use. Of course, this is a virtual event, so you need to determine what virtual platform you're going to have this whole thing on. And I have the three that we were kind of going back and forth around up on the screen. And I just want to talk through those really briefly to try and help you see how we picked the one that we picked and help you possibly decide which one you want to pick. So I'll start with the left with Zoom. Zoom, it is free to use, which is great because budget is a huge determinant in this whole entire thing. We wanted this to be great, we wanted it to be grand and amazing, but we also didn't want to break the bank because it was just us at the house holding it and we didn't want to dish out a whole bunch of money. So Zoom is free and you can have up to 100 people in there at one given time. But the only downside is you only get 40 minutes to have your virtual event. Now, for some, that may be enough, but for us, that was not enough time. Now, for our gender reveal, that was plenty of time because I mean, it was literally get on there, do the gender reveal, and say a couple things. But for the baby shower, we had games, and those games took time, and then we wanted to open some of the gifts on camera. So 40 minutes just was not enough time. So we that was a huge negative on our list. Now, I do like Zoom because they have like a virtual meeting or a waiting room, and that's sort of like, so for example, our event started at 1 o'clock, and people probably started filing in at like 12:50, but we didn't want them to like see us setting everything up on the back end, making sure everything was good, that final like using the bathroom before everything goes in. So they kind of sit them in a little waiting room and then you have to accept them in. And I think you can like automate it so it automatically accepts people in if you want that option. But I liked having that virtual waiting room so I was in control of when I could let people in. Now the only downside is we had those stragglers that came in towards the end when we were already started. And if I didn't notice that they were sitting in the waiting room, they just sat there. So that's one thing that you have to keep in mind. If you're doing this by yourself, you're gonna have to be like right at your computer and able to let people into the call. Now Google Meet was is the one in the middle, and it was a close second. Um, and I like it because it's very easy to use, and most people have a Google account that they can use to log onto here. Now this, I pulled this picture offline, but this one right here, it says host up to 250 people for free up until September 30th, 2020. When we were going through and trying to set up Google Meet, we didn't see this option. So I'm not sure where the person that made this graphic got this from, but I didn't see an option. You might want to double check behind it because if so, that would be perfect. But we didn't see that option. Now the only bad thing to this one is it didn't have that waiting room that I just explained that I really liked. And only one person can share their screen at a time. So I'm gonna go over how I shared my screens between my two devices in just a second, and this was the main reason why we could not use Google Meet, because of how I needed everything set up in the baby shower. Now the one all the way to the right was kind of like that outlier, just like another option. It's Microsoft Teams, and we didn't really like it because we couldn't have grid view. This was a really big thing. It also didn't have the waiting room that we wanted, but it didn't have grid view, which basically shows everybody in a grid. And we wanted to be able to see as many family and friends as possible. Leads me into saying that we did end up picking Zoom because we could see up to 50 people on the screen almost. Now I will say that with us picking Zoom, we did have to pay for the premium version, and it was $14.99. And we found a honey coupon that took off $3, so it was $11.99. And that's a monthly subscription that we canceled afterwards, of course, because we didn't need it anymore. But that additional boost on our account provided us with unlimited time. And the peace of mind of paying that $12 to know that we had literal hours to get our event done was well worth it. All right, so I have us in a Zoom call really quickly. I just want to point out a couple of things. Now, I'm not going to go over how to use Zoom. There's plenty of videos out there that already do a great job of explaining everything. And if you're thinking about doing this virtually, then you probably are a pretty techie person already. But if not, if you do need some help with how to navigate Zoom, like I said, there's probably plenty of videos out there that can do it. I just want to show a couple things that were very important to us on that day. Now, I've talked a lot about this waiting room, and right here you can see what that looks like. So I have my phone in on this Zoom call, and pretend like this is the baby shower, gender reveal, whatever. You're still setting up, you're getting ready, you're almost ready, but you don't want people to see you like behind the scenes getting everything ready. So they kind of sit in this room, they can't see anything, but when you're ready for them to come in, you can click admit, and then they'll be allowed to see whatever is going on. Now, if you accidentally admit somebody, you can go over here and put them right back in the waiting room, which is a really good feature, I feel like. All right, and then for another thing I wanted to show you is how you can share things that you've previously made to show your audience. So, like for example, I made these cards for the baby shower on this website called Canva. If you've never heard of Canva, it's a website that's pretty much like a simplified version of Photoshop where you can make stuff and cut, edit, place things. It's great. But I'm going to put these pictures that I made in case you do want to use them. I mean, I thought they were pretty great. Kim liked them. And if you like them, you can download them right below this video. But this would be what people would see. And then you can also share your computer sound. So like we had this up while people were filing in. Once we were ready to go, we started accepting people into the call, and then we had this up so people saw this, and then we also had some background music playing. Now, you can't use Spotify on your computer. I couldn't get it to work. I'm pretty sure you can't use iTunes, but I may be wrong. I ended up having to download songs to my computer, which I already had because I just used our YouTube video music as like some background music while people were waiting for it to start. But you literally just play it on your computer and they'll be able to hear everything, and it sounds great. It doesn't sound like muffled like some other video platforms will. But yeah, that's how we manipulated Zoom. And then you can also like play your games on here. Like if I pull up one of our games, so this was one of the games that we played, Who Knows Mommy Best, and we went through this together. Of course, this is the one with the answers. But it just makes it so easy if you go ahead and pre-make these. So our participants were seeing this on the screen and we were talking, so they could still hear us, but this is what they were seeing, and this made playing games together so much easier. So really suggest that. All the cards that we used for our baby shower will be right below this video. Alright, so you have hopefully decided or have heard how we picked our virtual platform, and that's helping you decide which one you're going to pick for your event. And now you need to decide how you're going to invite people to your event. Now, you can be traditional and send things through the mail, but being completely honest, y'all, we was trying to be as cheap as possible. Like, me and Kim was not trying to pay for postage, and again, we invited like 100 and some people. Postage is like expensive. That's like $50 just for some stamps, not including invitations. So we decided to go with this website called Evite, and it was like okay. It was okay. This is what the invitation looks like to the people that receive it. It says, "Hey, please join us for a virtual baby shower," and lists our information, lists when it is, and how to join the virtual meeting. All right, so right here we are just in like the settings of the invitations, and you can send out a mass message as the host, and periodically we would come in and update this just to send friends reminders, tell them things that they needed to remember. Like right here you can see we had our meeting ID for Zoom, the password. In the messages tab, you're able to send out mass messages to different groups of people, which I really liked. So you can send a message to everybody that you've invited, to only the people that replied yes or maybe or no reply. And I really like that because it prevented us from having to send messages one at a time, and just was so simple to go in here, type one message, and it shoots out a message to absolutely everybody. Now, the reason why I say it was okay was because sometimes when we would message, like let's say for like the day before, we sent out a reminder, hey, don't forget the event's tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I came in here and I clicked, let me make a message for all people that replied yes. Some people got the message and then some people didn't. And what I think we found was that if you have the Evite app, if like the person had downloaded that app onto their phone, they got the message. But again, you can send this through text message or Facebook or email or whatever type of electronic way you want to deliver this. If they don't have the Evite app downloaded, sometimes they don't receive these messages, I think. So that was one deterrent on this platform. And then people can send us gifts. We linked our Amazon registry right here. So people came in here, clicked right on this, and they were taken right to our registry. So that is how we sent our electronic invitations. Now let's get into how to pick a design. Alright, so I'm not going to really give advice for what theme you want your baby shower to be. I'm sure you already know what theme you want your event to be, even if it's not a baby shower. But what I am going to do is show how we got inspiration and how we found the items that we used. So if I come in here and I type in Safari baby shower, this is literally what we did. I took most of these pictures and recreated them. So for example, this was one picture that we used for inspiration, with the balloon arch and the leaves in the background and some type of text on the wall. And then we also used this one with the giraffe, just kind of getting inspiration. So once you solidify what type of theme you want to have for your baby shower, gender reveal, whatever event you're having, I started taking it piece by piece. We couldn't find like an exact one that had everything we wanted. Like this one would have something that we liked, then this one would have something that we didn't like. So we just pieced a whole bunch of different ones together and then literally just used Amazon or Etsy or Walmart or whatever website you have and start finding those pieces piece by piece. All right, so when you're deciding where you want to hold your event virtually, lighting is probably going to be your most important factor. This room that we're in is our office, and there was actually stuff on this wall, and we purposely moved it off because we know that during the time that our baby shower is going to be held, the sun is shining in through the window that's pointing towards this wall, and the lighting is very good. If we set it up the other way around, then your whole picture just looks grainy and it looks like someone shot it with the Android phone. Like, it's just not a good look. So go ahead and decide like where's the best spot and where you have like a blank wall. If you want to go with like this canvas background where you have a blank wall where you can hang everything up at. So you see us like hanging everything up, and we're just continuously looking back towards the camera, because I have my laptop set up where it's going to be for the day of the event, and we're making sure that everything is centered. I have Kim purposely sitting down so that she is in the shot, and I can make sure that she's not covering anything, nothing's covering her up, all that kind of stuff. So you've chosen your video platform, you sent out your invitations, you chose a design, you decorated. It's time for everything to happen, and you're a mess. If you're anything like us, you're a mess. We were so nervous, and actually, the day that this all happened, or the day of our baby shower, our AC went out. So we ended up having to push our event back 1 hour. Which again was a great plus for choosing the e-invitations. We were able to send out a electronic text message really quickly and say, hey, we've had some AC issues, life happens, we need to push this back an hour. But the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this is something's gonna happen. Like, technology is never gonna be reliable. There's always gonna be something bad that's gonna happen, and there's just no way to control it. I will say it will help if you go ahead and have everything prepped the day of. About an hour before, about 2 hours before the event, I started setting everything up, turning my laptop on, making sure the laptop was, like, the charger was connected, so it didn't have to, so I didn't have to worry about it dying. Make sure, like, none of your devices that you're going to be using have those updates where it'll just, like, shut down the whole machine if you're using a laptop. Making sure that everything is charged and you have backup of as much as you can, like backup batteries, backup tape, and thumbtacks if something falls off the wall. Things like that are going to be very important for you to have at your hand's reach if something bad does happen. Alright guys, so for the total price of everything, we came out to, like I said, under $150, which I think is really good for a virtual baby shower. The banner, the leave banner that you see right there in the background, was right at $18, and the balloon arch that we've talked about came out to $13.50, and then the gold oh boy balloons were $8. And then we did have some additional leaves that we had to buy for the food table, and we also had some on the table at the bottom right where our diaper cake was. Between the two of those leave sets, that came out to like $27-ish. And then the food for our food table, which of course was only for us, but was safari themed, and I do want to give a shout out to Kim for picking out all of these, and they turned out really cool looking. That came out to like 35 bucks. And then of course the Zoom subscription for us to get that unlimited time that we talked about at the beginning of the video was $11.99. It's really $14.99, but you can probably find a coupon like we did. It took off 3 bucks. And in total, we spent $114.14 on this virtual baby shower, and I think it went really well. I really hope that some of the tips that we talked about today help you in your journey to creating a special and memorable event. Be sure to check out our other video. We had a separate video where we showed some highlights from the baby shower and how everything went. So be sure to check that video out. It'll be right down in the description box below this video. I'm also going to link all the stuff that we got on Amazon for the baby shower in case you saw something that you really want to use. And finally, I'm going to link all of the cards that we used, that we talked about during the Zoom call. I'm going to link all of those down there if you want to use those as well.